Hello, welcome to another episode of X to Interact. This week we got your hosts, Gaff, along with Steven and Eric. Today we're going to be talking about the very short rise and fall of Google Stadia and the implications that it has for cloud gaming and the gaming industry.
Welcome to X to Interact.
But before we get onto that, we're also going to be talking about Crossplay, our usual. And now let's get right into it. So let's get into Crossplay. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It's been quite a bit because my weekends are pretty much non-existent these days. So to coincide with that, I've also had very little time to play games. So I will start off with myself. I've been able to play just a tiny bit of Halo Infinite with my girlfriend every now and then because she's still the much bigger player than me right now. There's a new event going on in Halo. It's for that cool World War II armor that I don't know if you remember seeing in that Season 2 trailer way back, Steven.
Yeah.
The Spire looked like a big tank with like that ovular helmet and stuff. There's no new game modes for it. They're just making you play land grab over and over again to unlock those 10 levels.
But is the armor the sauce, you know? Does it have it?
Yeah. It doesn't jam with me all too well, but I'm sure it has fans out there. But whatever the fuck. I'm playing land grab. It's fun, it's whatever.
Okay.
That's it for video games. I do have Life is Strange installed. I do want to play that before my Game Pass expires. And I really want to get into some Fall Guys with my girlfriend because she's been curious about a new game to play. So I'm excited for that in the near future. But that's all for video games. So as you guys know, I play physical trading card games such as Yu-Gi-Oh! That's still going on. I'm still spending too much money on that. But then, and I've seen this other game lurking in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. And I recently took an interest in it, and I took some time to look at it, and I got very intrigued by the art and play style and price of entry. And then I bit the bullet and made a purchase. Do you want to take a guess what other waste of money I got myself into?
Magic the Gathering.
I was going to say that too.
Well, that would be a good candidate, except I said the cost of entry is much lower.
Ooh, you're right. Yeah, Magic is pretty steep, so. Pokemon? Sometimes you can buy like the starter packs and stuff, and like it's pretty cheap.
Pokemon is very cheap, and that would fill all the criteria, but it is not Pokemon. I bought Digimon.
Oh, it's a Digimon card game?
Okay.
This is the first time I've heard of this.
Agu Grandma.
See, a couple of years ago, Digimon really reinvented their card game, and it really took off. It's been gaining traction every month, and at this point, it's like really creeping up there as like the underdog for trading card games. And then, so I bought two because you need two starter decks to have a full playset of certain cards, right?
This man is putting his inner Yu-Gi-Oh into this.
What? Do any of you have any background in Digimon or no?
I used to watch the cartoon when I was a kid, so that's about it, really. Oh wait, no, I played some of the Digimon games as well, but
I was a Pokemon kid.
Yes.
All right.
I am familiar with some Digimon, yeah.
No one ever watches Digimon. I'm always the one. None of my friends watch Digimon.
Not on a regular, right? Like it's not in the rotation, no.
Well, Steven, this starter deck has Angelwomon and Lady Devimon.
I know that one. So that's cool.
Yeah. And eventually I'm gonna buy some other singles to pad out the deck and I'll have something like actually playable really soon, but I'm very excited to dive into it because the art. Because Yu-Gi-Oh, you have to squint to see the art and read the text, but Digimon, they have a much better layout, and the art can sometimes take up the entire card, so you can fully appreciate it.
Yu-Gi-Oh just has a bunch of symbols everywhere that makes things hard to fit.
Yo,
so
don't talk about the description of the cards, the card effects. Yo, sometimes like those be super long, and they squish that shit down hard.
Yeah, you need a fucking microscope to see them sometimes, But that's because Yu-Gi-Oh is like grandfathered in from like decades ago, so they have a bunch of like stupid things to keep. But
yeah,
the benefit of Digimon being new is that they can start out right out of the gate doing it right, and so they have keywords in their cards, so you don't have to waste a bunch of space with a bajillion sentences. They can just put in one bolded word and you know what it means.
That's good because if you know Yu-Gi-Oh, sometimes you'll read a card effect one way. And it'll mean something completely different for like the same, like it'll be like, when this card is destroyed, a certain effect will activate. But if it says leaves the field, that doesn't mean destroyed. Nope. Those are two completely different effects, even though the card leaves the field technically.
You just set it to the side.
It's all about semantics with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how
it's very specific with its wording.
Yep.
You gotta watch out for the commas too and the semicolons because the colon dictates everything before the colon dictates what is the cost and everything after is the effect.
Yes,
so and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, anyway, so I'm really excited to play Digimon. Hopefully, and it'll be much cheaper. So, and I'm just gonna build one deck for fun for now and see if I actually like playing the game. And if I want to, then I'll.
So 2 weeks later, Jeff's got like a collection.
Yu-Gi-Oh is still my baby.
Yeah.
I'll never leave it, but it's good to have Yu-Gi-Oh needs competition
for sure.
They get away with too much.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but like for me, physical card games these days, it's just like too much of a money sink.
Okay, so that's all for crossplay for me. Let's go with Steven. What do you got?
So, I played probably Xenoblade 3, I'm just gonna say, while I'm trying to figure out the hour count. 13 hours yesterday, roughly, because I've kind of been out of it. So I played about 13 hours of that game yesterday. And over the last week, I've sunk a ton of time into that. So not much else to say about Xenoblade 3, but I cried kind of like a baby during chapter 5 ending. So there's that.
Wait, so did you stop at chapter 5 or did you keep going?
I kept going.
Good. Good.
Things got better, man. Things got better. It was so fucking, they drive it in, man. I will tell you, like, yeah, here's this feeling of hopelessness. Let's screw it in until it's so painful you can't stand it. And then let's make you feel like a fool for that. But that's spoilers, so I'm not gonna get into it. However, the emotions are what I want to pull from that, because I don't know if it's just I'm sick, I'm just a little more touchy, but definitely hit home for some of those things.
Let me guess, you were playing late at night, weren't you?
You know what? I may or may not.
Don't worry. The same thing happened to me. I was like, let me just finish chapter 5 and I'll go to bed. And it's like all that stuff. And you're like, no, I need answers.
Yeah, I need to know. After, like, this can't be the way this ends. Yeah, and that took way too long. I think I was up to like 2 a.m. ish playing that. However, that's old news kind of, but it's still awesome. And I don't know, man, it's creeping up that game of year list for me. So, Elden Ring is still there at number 1, but it might have a dark horse candidate here.
Yeah.
One I wanted to touch on too was Grounded 1.0. We streamed that on Friday. Let me grab the play here. I did that with, damn it, I had the wrong one up. I had that.
Whoa! Don't spoil my crossplay. Come on.
I know. My bad. So yeah, right now I have some up. But anyways, Grounded is 1.0 now. I don't know really what's changed. I think I pulled up what's changed on this.
Well, they have a story,
So
don't they?
they have, yes, they've added like an opening cutscene kind of thing that was different than before. It was just like a small like flavor text kind of thing before. When I say before, I mean like shortly after it went to early access for me. So we played this. We streamed about hour and a half on Friday. Eric, me, and Sam. We also had Omega jump in too, so that was kind of fun. And on the topic of touching it in or joining in, right? I just want to get the negatives out of the way. The servers just were not working. We kept dropping, and it wasn't just one of us like having problems. It was Eric. It was Sam at points. It was Keen Omega who kept dropping in and out. So
yeah, I'm not too sure what was going on there because like I was having so much lag. Like I would be teleporting so much, and it was really bad.
But you don't have that with other games, right? Like you play Destiny, and which is a
it was fine. Yeah, it was fine for other games. We played Fall Guys afterwards, and it was fine there.
Yeah, and so I just think they have some things to work out with the servers, right? And also they could just remove spiders altogether. That'd be great. Just heads up on that. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna play. I'm just gonna go between the two. I'm gonna be the pilot over here of the stream, and it was probably a good idea because it looked like also performance was a little bit not the greatest, super optimized, but maybe just for specific machines. But Sam had a 3080 with a crazy machine, so his performance is like doesn't count because it runs everything no matter what. So, yeah, this is just them talking about like everything that's coming to the full release. So back to us real quick. I think as far as Grounded goes, I do love the funny moments that can happen. Like I think you threw a spear into Sam at one point in a place that was quite auspicious. So it was just funny. Ants, the first time we encountered ants stealing the food was funny.
Yeah, we were like, one of the ants just like walked into our base and like took our food, and we're just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, anyways, I think I don't know really what's changed all that much because we didn't get too far into it, but we managed to build a base. We managed to get the walls up and going. We have the lean-tos, the basic like, hey, let's build a basic house and try to survive the night in Minecraft, but in Grounded. So I enjoyed watching you guys play it. I played a little on my own. Hey, Keen, how's it going? And I think I want to see more, and hopefully the servers kind of kick up here and we don't have as much issues in the future because I do want to see more of that.
From watching the IGN review, like they give a brief overview of what they've added, like some enemy types like ant lions and fireflies are just some examples I can off the top of my head. And in the review, I don't know if I'm not gonna say it, but I don't know if they spoil like some story elements, but like there are cutscenes in this game, like pre-rendered cutscenes in this game now that really feel like they are doing like a whole ass story. And what they showed what you can do with base building in this game looks pretty nutty. So I think maybe just like getting a few more hours, and which is like the classic saying, right? Get a few more hours into an RPG and then you'll really love it, right? But I think that's what you gotta do.
Yeah. What's your history with Grounded, Jeff?
I remember playing Grounded in the summer of 2020. When it first came out as early access. Me and my friends, we played as much of it as the game would allow us. we got to that lab, and that lab was like the end of like the quote unquote story that they had at the time. But yeah, we got our armor, we fought spiders, we did like some dungeons, and hey, we got a little intruder here.
Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Hey, continue talking. I don't mean to interrupt.
He was so excited about Grounded, he had to jump in. And I had a blast playing it. Like the ant stealing food thing that happened. Same thing happened to us, and I remember laughing out loud and trying to fight off the ants because we need our food so much. And just like small things like collecting dew off of the top of grass because you need water. Like that's just so charming.
I know.
Um,
We threw spears at ours to get it.
I found it very fun to just hang out in that world. I remember the base building being very finicky because it's all uneven terrain, so the geometry is not going to mesh very well all the time. And plus, I was playing on controller, and I feel like you need a lot of buttons to play this game well.
They smoothed out some things, it seems like, from what I was watching. The base building seemed pretty good, and Sam was commenting like, yeah, if only X game had this building. So I imagine
Fallout 4.
there we go. To be more smooth. So I think they've smoothed out a little bit of that.
Eric, tell us about your Grounded experience.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, it was pretty laggy when I was trying to play it because I would teleport around and stuff, and so we didn't play for that long, to be honest. Because after that, we were like, all right, let's switch over to something we can actually play. But I did play Grounded a bit. Like I feel like it was a year or two ago with a friend. Again, like in early access. I played it for like a day, and I had fun with it. It's just that he never got on to like really play much, so we really couldn't really play much of it. This time when we played it, it kind of felt like more of what I played back then because I really didn't get far in either session. It does seem like a pretty fun survival game. I do want to play more of it. I just really hope that next time we try to play, it doesn't get as laggy as it was. I know there's an option where you can play solo, but your progress will like transfer over to like the multiplayer server stuff. I don't know how that works or anything like that, but I'm willing to try that out. I might download it on my Xbox later on because I downloaded it on PC because it'd be a lot easier to just have Discord and stuff there. But I was having a little bit of performance issues here and there. I had to drop down the resolution, the settings. I have an AMD card, so I turned on FSR just to see how that was, and that seemed to work a bit, but everything was like just like a little blurry, like you can tell. But otherwise, it seemed like pretty fun. We were laughing because I threw a spear at a Sam's head, and he was just screaming out loud. It was just so funny. And
Bro,
thankfully, we didn't have friendly fire on. But if we did, it probably would have died from that.
What are you saying, Sam?
This man just threw a spear at me. It was kind of rude. He did it twice. Once in the head, once in the crotch.
I did it multiple times. I threw one at your hand at one point. You didn't even notice.
No, I didn't notice that.
The spear throwing was a little weird too. Like, I don't know. The collision was strange.
Yeah, I threw one right through a bug one time and it didn't do shit. BS.
I guess the Grounded's awesome. I don't know if anyone else has any more thoughts on that, like before I move to my next game.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
Steven, tell us about your next game.
I played Destiny. You know, it's the same old.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. I have it every week. I've been playing a lot less. I'll say that. A lot less because of Xenoblade and things like that. But I have been playing some Destiny and been a little bit of that seasonal burnout, to be honest. But I'm hoping that with the next season relatively soon and a bunch of new games coming out that like I can just jump off. That's the nice thing about Destiny is like if I'm not feeling it, I can just come back. They quit the sunsetting thing, so they're not going to be erasing any content as far as like expansions or I think seasonal content stays there for like an entire year after it gets there. So there's a lot less FOMO, so I can just come in and out when I want to. I played my Titan and that went poorly. Immediately ran back to my Hunter for comfort. But the jumps are just so different on the two between the three classes, and there's a lot of platforming, a lot more platforming than you'd think in Destiny for a shooter. So Yeah, I don't like Titan Jump, but that's gonna do it for my crossplay. Yeah.
Eric, aside from Grounded, what else have you been playing?
Oh boy, what have I been playing? So earlier you should have went to me because I had a layup for deck. Because speaking of deck, I got a Steam Deck here.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
I was really hoping you would lay it out to me, but I didn't want to interrupt. So,
All right. You set the spike for me, and I did not follow through.
So what I've been playing on deck, Sam will be happy to know I have been playing Ni no Kuni on my Steam Deck. I have about 9.5 hours so far, according to Steam.
There we go.
I just
You're gonna need to pump those numbers up.
Well, hey, sir. Well, I just saved the desert town from the volcano from exploding or whatever. So there's that. I got
Oh wait, you did the boss fight on the volcano?
Yeah, I did the boss fight in the volcano.
Hell yeah. That one took me so long. I never died. It just took me a long time.
Oh, did it? I died the first time because like the AI was just not positioning themselves right.
Oh yeah, the AI kind of sucks.
Yeah, so Ni no Kuni, I don't think I've ever explained in the podcast that much, but you know, RPG from from Level 5 in collaboration with Studio Ghibli. So it has like those Studio Ghibli aesthetics.
But that level 5 charm.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Pokemon a bit where you can like collect the enemies and they can like aid you in battle and stuff like that. I don't know what else to say because I feel like I'm still not that much into it, even though I'm about to be 10 hours in. It's like, I kind of feel like it's been like uneventful so far.
It's a very
and so
start.
like, yeah. And so like, right now it's just like walking around the overworld, which takes fucking forever, which I'm going to say. Like you walk so slow and it takes forever to go places. I have no fast travel yet. And so I'm just like, well, I got to walk from here all the way back to over here. And I'm just like, man, I kind of wish this was a little faster.
Like, give me fast travel points like Xenoblade, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But I'll keep playing it for Sam's sake because I made him play Sir Xenoblade 2, so there's that. I mean, I'm not hating the game. It's just like really slow right now.
I think you'll love it at some point.
I think you got the better pick there for sure.
Yeah, and like performance-wise on Steam Deck runs really well.
Sweet.
I have it running at 60 frames a second.
Is this
and
the
I could probably like drop that. Yeah, this is a remaster.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Runs 60 frames a second, runs at I believe it runs at the native Steam Deck resolution, which is like 1280 by 800, but it's letterboxed a bit, so I don't think it's actually running at that resolution, but it's whatever. I can drop the FPS down to 30 if I wanted to, but I'm like, no, I want that 60 FPS, baby. Give me that.
It's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna
for Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I can run it at 60 frames a second, I'm gonna run it.
Right.
Probably like the Switch version probably runs, I don't know, 30 frames a second or something. Who knows?
Unplayable.
Unplayable, yeah. And so I did mention, I think last time when I played it, like I was playing it on this PC that I'm on right now, and there was like occasional stutters. Not seeing any of that on Steam Deck. It runs completely fine. It's verified on Steam Deck, which means it runs perfect. No issues at all whatsoever. Only there's like a one weird thing where like a button prompt will like be like a string of code instead. I'm just like, huh, that's a little weird, but it doesn't affect gameplay at all, so it's fine. Yeah. Also been playing Vampire Survivors because I've heard this game is very well recommended on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And let me say, I played it for the first time and I was like, I don't get the big deal about this game. Why this game's so popular? And then it got its hooks into me. And holy shit, I am fucking in love with this game. Right now, I have almost 6 hours in this game so far. And like, if you're looking on stream, it looks very basic. Like, it looks like not much is happening. But let me tell you, when it ramps up, it ramps up hard. Because
you're leveling up, right? Like,
yeah, you're leveling. So basically, for those who don't know, Vampire Survivors is a roguelike kind of game where it's very simple. All you do is just move around and like all the action going on basically happens by itself. It's all automated. You go around killing these enemies, you level up, you pick like a level up perk you want, and the whole goal is to basically survive for 30 minutes. And you basically just get your weapons, your perks, or whatever to try and survive the 30 minutes. And every so often, like they throw in like I don't want to say like a curveball, but they throw in like a random event. Like what you're seeing here now is like the first level where every 5 minutes, like a ring of plants surround you, and you basically either have to just survive for like a limited time or try to break free from it. And they'll throw in like a whole bunch of stuff like that. There's like boss enemies who are like either bigger or are like highlighted in like a color. Like I don't know if they ever show it on this stream here, but like a blue bat or whatever and stuff like that. So it gets harder as the more you go on. And let me tell you, Steven, if you can just like, I don't know, like fast forward to like a later time.
Yeah.
Like it seems so basic, but like once you like start getting to the higher levels, yeah, like right here, oh my God, it gets nuts. It gets wild. And so you want to make sure you have like the right combinations of stuff because yeah, it gets a lot more enemies are on screen. You're shooting out a lot more projectiles, and it's just so addictive. Where you're just always like, okay, I died there. What can I do for one next run? Like one next run. It's like so fun, and like I've done 2 clears so far, and like as you progress, you unlock more of the roguelike stuff where you start off with like almost kind of like a few abilities here and there, the ability to so you see here where they just like have a bunch of stuff going on, and so it's like wild. Like I was saying, you start off with like basic ability, like almost nothing unlocked, and so you have these. I want to say like challenges where it'll be like, oh, survive 5 minutes with this character. Oh, level up this weapon to level 5 or whatever. And as you do that, you're unlocking more items for future runs. You're unlocking more permanent upgrades for future runs. You're unlocking more characters, more levels, stuff like that. And yeah, Steven, you see here, like it gets wild. Like, and this is only like the 16-minute mark. This is like halfway through the run.
Oh my God. That's
and as you can see, it gets wild. So you want to plan out like the weapons you get, because you can also like upgrade the weapons mid-run, where if you fully upgrade the weapon and then get a specific item that like is compatible with it, it'll level it up. So like the whip, for example, if you level it up to level 7 and then you get the life-stealing heart, or not the life-stealing heart, the increased health perk, then later on you can upgrade it to a whip that deals crit damage and will steal health from the enemies as you do it. And then, as you see here, they're using one of my favorite ones, which was the Bible weapon, which is basically like a ring around you. So normally unupgraded, it'll like do it every couple of seconds, but then when you upgrade it, it's just permanent around you. And so it's like basically like I want to call it like a buzz saw around you, where you're just constantly it's a death ring, and so that helps out a lot. And it's so good, man. I'm definitely worth the $5 that I paid for it because it's super cheap on Steam.
Yeah, Jacob,
it was like,
who was on earlier, was like, dudes, you have to play this. Like,
yeah, literally. So I want to tell you a story. Literally, the day I bought it, the game was originally like, I think like $3. Literally, the day I bought it is when they increased the price, and I'm like, damn. Kind of wish I bought it a little bit earlier, but it's still worth the price.
$5 though.
It's still so good.
You know, for a game like this. And I heard that they recently announced that they're going to be switching engines. So the game is going to look better theoretically.
Yeah, so the game was in early access, and they actually announced the 1.0 release is coming out this month, and so interested to see what they add in there, because I haven't played a lot, but there's definitely like some things I've seen in there, because like you start off, you get like I said, you got nothing. I recently just unlocked the ability to like see the combinations, like the permanent upgrade. You hit the plus button or the start button, and it'll like tell you like, okay, this is what combines with what. And so like I have that permanently, and I also have like a map permanently that I unlocked. And so it'll like tell you like where the secret items are. It'll tell you like where drops are, and so there's that. Then I also learned that I haven't unlocked it yet, but there's like how is it, like there's this thing called arcanas, which are basically kind of like, I want to say like, if you ever played Hades, I think kind of like the
Are they the passive?
They're like modifiers to the runs, where every time you start up a run, you can like pick a modifier basically.
Yeah.
And so I haven't unlocked that yet, but I've read it and I'm like, okay, that'll be interesting once I get that. So this game is very addicting, and holy shit, man, this is the perfect Steam Deck game. Dude. Definitely is the perfect Steam Deck game.
I play this on cloud, so it's definitely good on mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is on Game Pass as well now, I believe.
Yep. Little secret, and these are, I believe, they have this from like another game. They just took like placeholder assets and things like that. So
yeah, something like that. But like this game is fucking addicting. Let me tell you.
Oh my god!
I stood up till like midnight playing this game, and I was like, yes,
dude. It makes me want to play it, to be honest. Watching some of this, so
no, it's fun. It's fun.
Cheers to that.
Definitely a game I wasn't expecting to like pick up, but like I was like, man, the price is right. It's got overwhelming reviews on Steam, and like this is definitely like a little, I don't want to say a hidden gem because it's not so hidden anymore, but like this is definitely a game I would not expected to enjoy this much.
Don't miss out on this game if you like an arcade experience of any kind, like, you know.
Exactly, yeah,
dude.
Yeah, that's my my crossplay. Actually, I did play a little bit of Destiny 2, like, well, not with Steam. Like, I did try out that Bungie 30th anniversary stuff. I need to play more of it, but like, man, Destiny is fun.
It is great. We should get that dungeon, dude. Let's get that
And
dungeon.
then yesterday I was playing more Yakuza Like a Dragon, and let me tell you, that game's still great. I'm at chapter 10 now, and I got more to go. So I'm saying there.
Excellent. Before we continue, I want to get Sam's take real quick. Sam, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What's your favorite Digimon?
I don't know anything about Digimon, bro.
Valid answer.
I don't know anything, but I have two things to talk about, and then I'm out of here because I don't have shit to say about fucking Google Stadia. That's fucking bullshit. First, I played Tinykin. Tinykin is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, play it. If you like 3D platformers, like, this game rules. The level design is incredible. I'm a sucker for like being in human environments while small, but this one just really hits that.
You should play Pikmin.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, people say Tinykin's like Pikmin, so maybe I should. I don't know. I was up because my sleep schedule all fucked up because I'd been sleeping like all day and shit because I'm sick, and I was up late playing it last night to 100% it, and it is my first game that I got 1,000 gamer score in. So we got that.
Ooh.
I am officially an Xbox loser.
Whoa.
I've never even gotten 1,000 gamer score yet in a game.
Wow, I am better than Gaff. I am a bigger
fan.
Xbox fan than Gaff.
So what was it, Sam?
What's that?
What was the game?
Oh, Tinykin.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tinykin. Yeah. Yeah, just a blast to play. One of the achievements like really annoying to get because it's like it's like collect all the Tinykin in the house, and there's no like
the little eggs or whatever.
Yeah, you have to collect like all of them in the house.
Oh my god!
Whether they're eggs or like hatched but trapped or whatever.
They should do like a mini map thing.
And there's no like there's no like you don't know where they all are, so there's no like count for each like room or whatever, so it's kind of annoying. Yeah. I had to look up a guide and found like an unofficial account, or an unofficial count of the tiny in each room, but even that was kind of off a little bit. But I ended up getting that achievement. So yeah, fun ass game. Absolutely recommend. I mean, it's gonna be in my top 5 games of the year for sure, like without question at this point, I believe, unless some of these later games just blow me away. The second thing I need to talk about, and the main reason I hopped on here, because fucking Gaff's here. Well of Ascension, bro.
Yeah.
It's getting litty titty, all right? It's getting litty. Bro, gaff. I'm not done with it. I'm not done with it yet.
Fuck.
But I'm like 75% of the way through, or like 70% of the way through or something.
Finish out that.
Oh,
treasure,
yeah.
man. So
Dude,
good.
that is a good final 25%. You got coming your way. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Cool. One of the last things that happened, almost the last thing that happened was Zane and Vin just went ham on Set's
Oh,
army
shit.
in his tower. That part,
Yeah.
Or we talk about Zane, you know?
dude,
Yeah.
that was insane, bro. Like they just like slaughtered like an entire army of people. Like
Murked
fucking
him, bro.
It's cool. That's for a good cause,
crazy,
man.
bro.
It's for a good cause, right?
Yeah, but just like, man, I just love the writing of like action scenes in these books. It's great.
Bro, Duralumin adds a whole new layer to their powers because Duralumin just like supercharges one of their metals, and every time
when she fucking the scene earlier, she like fucking headbutts the dude essentially.
Hell yeah.
And just the guy's head explodes. Fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. When we get in a game of this, you know?
All right.
Right?
Or a show.
Anderson, get on it.
Stop making
But
those
no,
mini
he's
figs and let's get
He's
back
too
to
busy
this.
making
game.
Yeah, he's too busy making that minifigure game. Wow. What? But yeah, I've been reading
Good.
and enjoying it.
Finish that book. Finish that book and we'll do another spoiler cast.
Yeah. It's definitely like really slow for like the first like 15% of the book, but then it starts to pick up.
I agree.
And there's some things there's some things where I'm like, do we really need to like be doing this right now? It's like, come on, just like get us to a point where we're rocking and rolling. Like, come on.
Some filler episode for sure.
Yeah, but now you're there. They be rocking.
Yeah. And like Ellen went to the camp of the Koloss like a fucking moron.
Oh shit.
A fucking dumbass.
But it worked out.
No, I know. And then he what did he do? He
talked to the Koloss and like he totally like
he got them fighting
boss.
each other and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
They like don't give a shit about him, but they were like killing each other. Yeah, they're crazy. Fucking super mutants. But yeah, that's all I got to say. And I'm gonna leave because I don't have anything to say about Google Stadia.
Feel better, Sam. Feel better.
Feel better soon.
I'll try. Adios, amigos.
Later, Sam.
Adios, Sam.
So that wraps up our crossplay segment, and then we can move on to our topic of the day, which is Google Stadia, the rise and fall, and what that means for cloud gaming. So just some background here. Let me tell you about the very, very brief history of Google Stadia. So according to this article on The Wired, Google Stadia is shutting down just 3 years after it launched. So this big cloud gaming service will officially stop operating on January 18th, 2023. I remember hearing about Stadia back when I was doing my co-op in 2020 and thinking this is going to go the way of Google Hangouts and Google Glass. And what do you know? It did. Throughout its short 3 years, it was filled with ups and downs, mostly downs. They talked big and bold. They wanted to work with companies like Bungie to offer games to their customers, and also they had all of these studios making original games. So that, of course, looked promising. But many people, many leaders of Stadia have came and went. For example, there was Jade Raymond, who was a founder of Ubisoft Toronto and EA's Motive Studio. He was head of Stadia, and then he left about a year later in 2021. And many more trials and tribulations had come past. and they never did reach the point that where they wanted it to get to. To the point now where they're announcing that they're shutting all things down, well, apparently with very little warning to the studios under them, which is very, very unfortunate.
They heard when we did, right?
Yeah. And so they say they're going to scuttle the technology and apply it to their other, I guess, currently successful avenues, such as YouTube and Google Play and AR. And they say that the technology behind Stadia will be available to industry partners because they still believe in cloud gaming as the future. But so with this, I find it hard to imagine that any gaming company will want to work with Google again because apparently Google will pull the rug right from under your feet, no issue. So, how do you guys feel about this? I mean, I know none of us were particularly attached to Stadia, but we do care about cloud gaming, obviously because of Xbox.
Right.
So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, so I was the one who brought this topic up because one, it was only supposed to be me and Gav today, and we had no topics. But two, yeah, like you said, like I kind of feel like since Xbox is, I guess, like Xbox, what's the one that Amazon has? Luna and PlayStation Now, I guess. I mean, I don't really count that one, but
Yeah.
Xbox is the main one where I kind of feel like if Google wasn't the one able to get this right, does cloud gaming really have a future as a primary system? Like xCloud, obviously, that's not like the only way to play those games. You know, that's supplementary to Xbox Game Pass. While Stadia, I feel like their model wasn't great, where you had to outright buy the games only to stream, and I kind of feel like that was never going to work, obviously, because I don't think anyone wants to buy a game that's only available to stream when you know that at some point those servers are going to go down forever and you're going to lose access to those games.
It's tough because we run into that scary prospect of this is just another siren call for we don't own anything, right? We don't really own anything. We're just renting licenses from people. And that's been my big, like, I guess, allegorical takeaway is that, like, this should not, I don't know. We need to fix it so that we actually have ownership over some of these things in some way. So that when they do have things like this, we still have our games. Or I know Ubisoft said that anyone who had licenses for their games through Stadia can transfer that over to PC, which is nice.
Yeah, and I actually have experience with that because I did beta test Google Stadia back then when they let you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey over Google Chrome. And then once that beta period was up, they actually gave you a free copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey for Ubisoft. So it seems that they do have like the technology to figure out if you own those games. So that does seem good. And like Google's offering like full refunds. So you're basically getting a free game from Ubisoft at this point too.
Oh, one thing I also wanted to touch on was the e-waste of the controllers, right? Because they don't really work with other Bluetooth stuff, right? So they're like Wi-Fi based and with that system.
Yeah, so from what I know from the controllers is that they connect to Stadia via your Wi-Fi, but they don't connect to really anything else via Bluetooth. The only way you can use them, from what I've heard, I'm not too sure, is only through a wired connection on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess that could be good for that, but like I don't know, like I kind of feel like they should like do an update or something to allow Bluetooth, but I don't think they're gonna do that, to be honest. It seems like Google just straight up
that's so much
cut
waste,
the head off,
man,
you know?
because I'm sure there's a ton of, well, maybe there's not that many controllers out there, let's be honest, but it's enough to be like, like a big pile of it. I'm sure a big wasteful thing, and hopefully they just have Bluetooth firmware support. Gaff, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that bums me out as a environmental science person. A ton of precious metal just going to waste.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least if you order the Chromecast, you get a free Chromecast. You know, I mean, those are pretty worth it, I guess. Those are decent, you know.
Yeah.
But like, even like a lot of devs, like they didn't know, like they didn't know Stadia was getting cut off until we did, and so like, I feel like that they just got like the shit end of the stick, you know. Like some of them are getting reimbursed, but like other ones, like they didn't know, like some games are coming out like this month, and like now all that work is just down the drain.
Like, so what? I mean, you know, I guess maybe at this point, you're as a developer, you're looking at different options, right? You're looking at what the fuck can we do for like PC ports, and also let's immediately stop the cloud implementations, maybe, or unless you work with, let's say, like Xbox or PlayStation. I know that they're doing some weird initiatives with like Kojima for a cloud streaming only game or something like that, and so maybe they can work with different devs, and hopefully there's an avenue there for them to be like, all right, well, you've already built this cloud infrastructure to make your game better, let's make it shine on this service instead. And I'm hoping that something like that happens, because, you know, these devs put their heart and soul into their work, and so it's really a shame to see like it pull that out. But I guess, in my opinion, someone should have been reading the tea leaves here. These devs, in some case, it's terrible, yes, but like Stadia was kind of not popping, you know.
Yeah, I get that, but like Google was paying these devs money.
They had
you know
contracts,
what I mean?
right, with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like,
I wonder how
you mentioned Kojima.
Yeah.
And like, his game wasn't going to be Google exclusive, but then good old Phil Harrison over there was like, this is single player. No one's going to play single player games, which look at the market, dude. Like, come on. And that game got canceled. And now, assumingly, I'm pretty sure that game that Kojima was going to make is now going to Xbox. That's going to leverage the xCloud services. And so like,
that's about right.
We'll see whenever that comes out. But like, who in their right mind would say no to a Kojima project? Like, come on.
Yeah. No,
see, that's why I think what's happening to Stadia is not an indicator of what's going to happen to cloud gaming in general. Google doesn't get gaming. Okay, they tried something big, and they had a good idea. Honestly, Stadia and cloud gaming, like they were one of the earliest to do it, and they had a good idea on their hands, but they fumbled it, they dropped the ball. But I don't think that reflects at all on Xbox, because yes, Google, they have all the money in the world to make it succeed. They chose not to make it succeed. Xbox has resources, and they can and will make it succeed. I will give Google credit for, I think they lit a fire under Xbox's asses on getting cloud gaming up and running.
Yeah.
Because who knows where it'd be, right, without it.
I mean, honestly, competition breeds ingenuity, right? You know, as we keep seeing again and again. So we have it with what PS Plus kind of semi copying Game Pass on their side, because they see the success of Game Pass, and so they want to provide something where they can get that cash money. So I just hope that we see other competitors that keep pushing that medium forward, because if we just have the one, things tend to stagnate a little bit. So,
well, speaking of competition, I believe Phil Spencer, he's been quoted twice now as saying they see Nintendo and Sony as, you know, like good fellow partners in console gaming, but they see their competition as Amazon and Google, because Phil, he's trying to think like 10 steps ahead. He's playing 5D chess. He's looking at cloud gaming as the future. And on one hand, that statement, it's cute, and it's kind of I think it's funny how he refers to Nintendo and Sony as, you know, like the other guys on the playground, but he's aiming to swing punches at like the big megalith companies like Amazon.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, and like Amazon, and we forgot to mention Netflix, that they're getting into gaming as well. These companies like these, they're really trying to innovate and push cloud gaming. And I mean, I'm skeptical about Amazon, Netflix, but I think Microsoft will continue to do well.
I heard Luna's not bad. I've not tested it myself, but and that leads me to like the tech part of it, right? Are we gonna get? Because I know Google. The most promising thing about Google was that they had the backing to make an infrastructure better for this kind of thing, because they have the Google Fiber service, right? They had. They were installing it in different places and making it easier and cheaper for people to get to, so that you could have, honestly, up to par with the rest of the world, or most of the rest of the world, where they have way better connectivity than North America. So we're behind on that. But I think my point is, like, the tech just wasn't exactly there yet. It's the same thing we're dealing with VR too. We're kind of still in that, we're still prototyping things. We're still figuring out the best way to get it to the average consumer and even market it, right? xCloud is awesome. It's not perfect, and you need a good network setup for it. And until we get to the point where, like, and even the touch controls, right? Those could use some work. They're still a little, I don't know if it's the best way to experience a lot of games. So they're still figuring out a best way to package this thing and market it and get the technology up to snuff too, so that we can all enjoy cloud gaming and not get rid of our boxes, the boxless future, which is, I think, what they're going for, because you have a lot less cost inherently when it comes to that on the side of the company, other than like keeping the servers up and things like that. But yeah, I don't know, cloud streaming in general is moribund, as Gary would say, but I do think we're in a point of, we're testing the waters to see like which one will survive, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll see another startup company, like, what was it, Oculus at first was like a really small thing, and then it got Kickstarter funding, and then it blew up with the Facebook purchase, right?
Yeah, now they're owned by Meta, right?
Right. Oh, sorry, Meta, not Facebook. God, fucking hate that. And they're gonna make me make a Meta account. It was just weird. I started up my Oculus Quest, and I don't play that enough, right? That's kind of the point, is there's only a certain amount of things that work with the cloud gaming as it stands. And so I really hope we can get to a point where I can be at work or something, and because the cell signal is good enough for me to get there, I can play it on my phone without worrying about it disconnecting because the connection's not good enough, right? Now, that's not the case for everyone. Obviously, cell towers are better in a lot of places, but again, it's hit or miss. So we're just waiting for everyone to catch up with infrastructure and tech. So maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, from what I understood, Google Stadia's like streaming technology was pretty decent. I've never really used it that much, but at the same time, they never delivered on the promises they had at launch. Like, do you remember when they said like, oh, you can like watch a stream of a game and then hit a button and then get placed in that exact point of the stream? I believe that never came out. That part never was ever released.
YouTube integration, it was, hey, you're watching this game, you're watching a streamer play the game, and you want to play the game on your Stadia, so you press a button and it takes you to the game page and you play it, I guess. I don't know, like, but I believe better than that, right? Like,
yeah, what they specifically said was that, say a streamer's fighting a boss or whatever and they're having trouble with it, you can click a button and jump right into that like portion therein and take control of it, and but like on your own save basically. And that never happened, I believe.
Yeah,
like that whole YouTube integration never came.
Nope,
not at all. And like,
just too ambitious.
I remember.
Like,
yeah, they made like a lot of promises not made. I remember they were saying like, oh, this thing is gonna be a lot more powerful than the PS4 Pro and Xbox Series X or Xbox One X, and like they said they were gonna do 8K 120 FPS, and like that just never happened.
I remember there being fears of like ads being in games because of Google Stadia. like having ad breaks in the middle of playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like you would having an ad in the middle of a YouTube video.
No.
And to be honest, like that, people are still talking about ads in games now. As
we had a recent.
It's a lot worse
Xbox,
now. That's all I'm
right?
saying.
Like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a story like I don't remember how long it was, like a few years ago, where like NBA or something like had like forced ads while you're like loading into the game.
Yeah,
it was like really bad.
It's gross.
Yeah, but
so thanks Google,
right?
For
Yeah.
starting that conversation.
I don't think that with Google dead, I don't think like any company is going to be like a dedicated streaming. Let me rephrase that. I don't think streaming is ever going to be like the only way we play. I think it's going to be a supplement. I don't think physical boxes are going away anytime soon. Like you're not gonna get the dedicated hardcore gamer that's only streaming. They're the ones who's gonna go out and buy the boxes. They're the ones who are gonna upgrade their PCs to play locally. They're the ones who are gonna spend the money for the games. You're not gonna
And nowadays,
you're not gonna
marketing,
catch them. Yeah, you're not gonna catch them only streaming.
Until North America has internet that is as good and cheap and widely available as like South Korea, where you can have public internet that's like god tier, cloud gaming will not be the dominant way to play games. So it's up to the service providers first to fix that before
funnily
gaming
enough,
continues can take off.
Funnily enough, I believe like when Google Stadia was first announced, someone asked Google a question about like the ISPs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the ISPs are going to handle it," and never did. It never happened.
It didn't.
They didn't. Not at all. And then I also just like want to call out one more thing where I don't know if you guys have seen this. Like apparently there was this one guy who was playing Red Dead Online on Stadia for 6,000 hours, and like he's begging Rockstar for character transfers because when Stadia shut down, he's losing all that progress. Like I kind of feel bad for the guy.
Destiny shutting down. Destiny was another big one where they worked specifically with the dev to get that in a place where
and
it was good. You know?
Thankfully, Destiny does already have cross saves, so you can like you're good on that end. But like a lot of games,
you know, because you'll still have to buy a code because those expansions are not cheap. So like
yeah. Well, thankfully, I do believe they're looking into that as well.
That's good.
To try to find a fix. But like like a lot of people who like play like a lot of these games don't have cross save, like Cyberpunk, Red Dead. How are you gonna like get all these saves over there? You put time into this, and now
I mean, what the best case scenario is you're getting a code. Best case scenario, right? The companies could just be like, well, sucks to suck, you know, and leave you dry. You know, that's the worst case scenario. But like I think with the cross, it's, you know, it is nice we have that technology now with people are just hosting it locally, and that's why Ubisoft was able to just be like, hey, we have this integrated with Stadia anyways, and we had our own version of like those games on Ubisoft Plus, right, where it's all connected on their little local servers for their saves and stuff. So yeah, man, it sucks to see. My biggest thing was the devs, right? It's just sad, like ugh.
Yeah. And like I said, I will at least give Google some props to like they're offering full refunds on hardware and software. So at least you're not like out of money, you know?
Very true.
So that wraps up our discussion on Google Stadia and cloud gaming. And I believe that wraps up our episode today, unless anyone else has any other thoughts to add.
Just maybe this is maybe just a heads up for devs, like just don't put all your eggs in one basket, maybe, if you can avoid it. Always look at the options because there's a lot of cool games out there. So
and with that wraps up our episode. Thank you guys for coming and listening to us. It was a very good pleasure for me to be back and talking about games again. It's been a while.
Man. Yeah.
Thank you. Make sure to follow us on all our social media and follow us on all our podcast platforms so you can stay up to date with our content. These episodes are posted every Tuesday as well. We Steven and Eric and Sam, they put in a ton of work in putting up shorts on other platforms to engage with you guys and put up some good, funny stuff. So huge props to them. Until next week, I've been your host, Gaff, with Eric and Steven, and also a special guest, Sam, for a brief minute. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Have a good day.
Boys, downloading Metal Gear now. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Do it, dude. Here we go.